Hello everybody. Welcome to An Island Lost to Time. This is the second ever episode of the series. Today we will stay a little bit in the woodlands and visit new creatures and visit some old ones. We'll visit some hunts, some failed hunts, some battles, and many things that will excite you. On this island, where everything coexists. This is Tank. He's the same Shunosaurus that we saw last episode, but now he has a name. He is roaming the very nice and the very tall grasslands with plants growing up to 100 feet tall. Tank just walks. The reason we named him Tank is because he's very tanky, as he's got a very strong build for animals that will hunt him. But that's pretty obvious. He starts to feast on a little bit of vines or a little bit of tall grass that grows. He has walked a little bit away from the herd. We won't visit the herd today, as they are not the most exciting thing. Tank is more exciting, as he is a Middle Jurassic animal. After a good feast, he decides to walk off. Tank eventually finds this really weird bit of eroded land. It looks like a den, but it's not. It has a weird hill-like thing and a very deep pit. Tank is he questions this, as it might be a predator's trap for smaller animals. But no predator, at least not a large carnivore, would dare to hunt him. So he walks off and leaves the pit. Eventually, after a couple minutes of walking, he finally finds the perfect place to graze. It's hidden, which means that carnivores won't be able to see him due to his coloration with greens and grays. He starts to eat the vegetation. This is where we will leave the Shunosaurus, a Tank, as there are more other animals that are right now doing more exciting things. Here we see a Torosaurus and an Iguanodon. They're by one of the shores of the river. The Torosaurus is here because they want to drink. The Iguanodon here is here because they mainly eat wetland vegetation. But some other animals are coming to see and drink. A Gallimimus runs down, followed by another. The two are staying very vigilant, as they were just attacked by a dinosaur. The Torosaurus doesn't really care that they're here and goes to eat more vegetation. The same goes for the Iguanodon, but the carnivore that was hunting them was blended in, and very well. The Carcharodontosaurus slowly walks up, getting ready to attack. The Gallimimus spots it and starts to roar. The Torosaurus gets ready to into a defensive position. Same thing with the Iguanodon. The Carcharodontosaurus stares on and realizes that this is not worth the meal and decides to walk off. Which the herbivores do stay in their positions for just a little while, just to make sure that he's gone. Eventually, they decide to go back to grazing. Welcome to where the Badlands meets the plains. This is a fully grown male velociraptor. He is walking around, looking for a nice meal, maybe a small mammal or a bug or something. He walks off. Eventually, he ends up on this tall, perched area. He's alone. He needs to find a pack if he wants to be strong. But what he doesn't know is that his life is about to end. A Postosuchus leaps and bites down on the Velociraptor's neck. Blood sprays. This is Butcher, the Postosuchus. He's another animal that technically is not a dinosaur. He's from the Triassic period. He's starting to feast on the dead Velociraptor. Now, in this island, Velociraptors or any dromaeosaurs that are not that big, that are alone, are pretty much easy meals for any animal. So, unfortunately, this Velociraptor was killed in combat. Not even combat. He was just a hunt. Wrong place, wrong time. Butcher decides to move on. Where he is the apex predator. As the only animals that live here are very small carnivores or medium-sized herbivores. Nothing that can very much defeat him in terms of raw strength. So, he decides to start scouting his territory, making sure nothing has taken and has marked it for them. He gets on this nice nice rock to see. He looks off into his territory. Here we see the same Stegosauruses from last episode. But now, this time, instead of a young Brachiosaurus getting hunted, it's actually them. Both these Thagomizers. Whatever's trying to hunt them will have a very tough time. Now, we might as well meet the animal. After all, we need to see who is going to try to hunt them. A foolish Nanotyrannus decides that these guys are worth the hunt. Nanotyrannus is barely bigger than a human, and it thinks it could hunt down one of these. Well, it only thinks it could hunt down one of the babies. But due to them being in a herd, this is bad. One of the Stegosauruses sees them and screams at the top of its lungs, which alerts the male who gets ready to fight. The Nanotyrannus backs up, not wanting to get hit, but the Stegosaurus is already getting ready to swing. It backs up and hits the Nanotyrannus straight in the neck. Blood gushes. The Nanotyrannus lays there, gasping for air. Its jugular was stabbed, which means it's guaranteed to die. It lays there, looking on. The male Stegosaurus walks off to go and comfort its young. While the Nanotyrannus lays there, dying, and takes one last breath and dies. Here we see Sam. Sam is a male Sauropelta. Sauropeltas are like Ankylosaurus, except they don't have any club tails, and they have spikes on their back. This is Sam's favorite spot to eat and graze, as it provides a really nice protection. And if he ever is in danger, he can always drop down to one of these dark crevices, and where animals can't damage him at all. He decides to start eating some flowers and some of this bush that lay, until Sam is startled by a roar and decides to walk and decides to run off. But what was that roar, you might be asking? Well, someone is getting into a fight. Here we see Redneck Redneck has claimed this area a forest for himself. Now, this is before the roar, as we viewed what he was doing. He decides to start walking down his hill to get down to more of his flatter hunting ground area. He falls a little bit, but he gets up. No big deal. That's until he spots something very large and strong. A Carnotaurus walks from the bush. It roars at Redneck. Redneck is startled, but roars back, showing that he is not going down without a fight. The Carnotaurus starts to walk forward. Redneck is bigger overall than the Carnotaurus, but the Carnotaurus can still pack a punch. It roars at 3 Claw, telling 3 Claw that he will fight. 3 Claw roars back, also signaling that he will fight as well. They decide to square up and fight. The Carnotaurus is the first one to get ready to fight, but 3 Claw also gets in. They start to bash each other's heads, but the Carnotaurus gets a good grab on this Redneck snout. But Redneck gets up quickly and knocks the Carnotaurus over. The Carnotaurus, being very agile, gets up and smashes his horns into 3Neck's chest. Redneck roars in pain as it's very damaging. The Carnotaurus goes in for the final bite, but 3 Claw slashes his snout with his claws. The Carnotaurus is down, so Redneck bites down on his neck. The Carnotaurus starts to escape. He looks at Redneck, knowing that Redneck is not backing down anytime soon. So he decides it's not worth it and walks off. Redneck roars, being happy that he won the fight. He walks off, damaged. He limps a little bit, as the Carnotaurus did provide some decent injuries. Nothing fatal, but nothing that you'd want to be caught next to a, let's say, Triceratops with. He decides to walk back deeply into his territory to hide. This is Snake Eye, the Tyrannosaurus Rex. He is the same one from the first episode that has the family. He is currently hunting, but he's not alone. His mate, Rexy, after the dinosaur from Jurassic Park, Rexy from Jurassic Park. She is also hunting with Snake Eye, but they're not alone. She motions over, and something comes. Their son, who has grown a decent amount since the last time we saw him. They are showing him how to hunt, as they are very successful carnivores. But their son is only about a few weeks old now, and is very much too young to hunt. But this is their first child ever for these Tyrannosaurus. So they don't know when to introduce their child to hunting. So they're doing it when he's only about 3 weeks old. They decide to do their most effective technique, the ambush, on this male Parasaurolophus who is grazing. The mother decides to go in first. She roars. The Parasaurolophus gets scared and runs. It runs straight into the Tyrannosaurus jaws. Snake Eyes decides, Snake Eyes snaps the neck of the para, killing it instantly. He starts to feast, followed by his mate, Rexy. And then, finally, followed by his son, which is too young to name yet, but when he's older, we shall name him. They decide to eat off this carcass, as it is a very juicy and tender one, which will provide lots of nutrition. For our final scene, we are here at a riverbed. A Camptosaurus decides to start drinking from this little creek, or little river, from this river. He enjoys the nice freshness of the water. But what he doesn't know is that something would enjoy the nice taste of his meat. Straight from the water, a Carposuchus leaps and pulls it down, carrying it into the water, where it'll feast. Blood pours inside of the river, showing that it's dead. The Carpo starts to drag and eat it. It's a very tasty meal. It's very small and frail. But what the Carposuchus doesn't know is that something here will end up actually fighting him for the carcass. After an unsuccessful day of fishing, a juvenile Spinosaurus decides to also start eating the carcass, much to the Carposuchus' dismay. He starts to eat some. The Carposuchus just watches, knowing that he can't do anything. But he does. He bites down on the sail, but the Spinosaurus pushes him back. He backs up, gets in the water. But both of them are semi-aquatic. The Spinosaurus gets up, angry that the Carposuchus decided to fight back. But the Carposuchus isn't done. It leaps and slashes the Spino right in the jaw. They both fall down over a not-so-perfect carcass. The Spino goes to eat more, trying to get everything they can from the carcass. But the Carposuchus isn't going to allow this and starts slashing down onto the Spinosaurus' body. The Spino is now very angry and starts attacking the Carposuchus' stomach. But the Carposuchus is like a crocodile and starts to barrel roll to get it off. The Spinosaurus gets up though, unfazed. Both are pretty muddy due to the muddiness of the water. The Carposuchus starts to attack more, biting down on the leg. He backs up, getting ready to go into the water if he has to. The Spinosaurus also gets up. He's very muddy. He decides to walk off. Which allows the Carposuchus to finish off what was left of the carcass. But because of the missed opportunity to kill, an animal decides to go back deeper into the water. Thank you for watching An Island Lost to Time, Episode 2. Please like and subscribe. Share this video with anybody that you think would enjoy it. If you do this, then hopefully many more people will see what this island has to offer. Make sure to tune in next Wednesday for the next episode.